Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am good. How are you? Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum assalam.
So welcome everyone. This is the podcast on real estate market in Saskatchewan. I have with me brother realtor Numaan Shafqat. He's a very prominent realtor in Saskatchewan. And another connection is I actually bought my house through him. So normally in terms of e-commerce and business promotions, I normally don't recommend or whenever I recommend somebody, I first try myself. So that's why I purchased my house with brother realtor Numaan Shafqat, and it has been an amazing experience till today. So I thought few days ago we discussed that we should organize something because the market is changing every day. So people have a lot of questions. So I also have a few questions on my list to ask brother Numaan Shafqat. But first, um, let's introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very thankful for this opportunity to introduce myself and talk a little bit about the Saskatchewan housing market. I've been a realtor for almost 5 years, and I practice mainly in commercial and residential. And I do some farm here and there. And I wanted to take this opportunity to give you a bit of an update of how the market's going, how things are looking in the current winter market, and how things are going to be projected in the next busy spring and summer markets. And I'll pass it over to Brother Tanveer here and answer some questions that he has, and we'll go from there.
So how many houses are for sale right now? Can you give us some examples or some
So I can give
introduction?
you exact, what's it called, stats as of this moment. We are experiencing very low inventory, and one of the reasons for that is it's still a strong seller's market. And just pull this up here for us. And I have some stats from last year as well that I'd like to share, and that'll give us an update on how the market's going.
You can share the screen if you want.
Okay. I'm just recording off a different device, so it's going to be a little tough sharing the screen, but I can put those in a slide and I can send those over to you. Okay, here we go. Okay, so as of this morning in Saskatchewan, we have exactly 456 active listings. With reported conditional sales, we're at 599. Generally, in a balanced market, we're somewhere around the 900,000-ish range. We're less than half. So inventory is less than a month. So what that means is if new houses stop coming on the market today, within a month or so, we should have no houses for sale on the market. We have experienced this from the last couple of years. It's been a fairly strong market, especially right after we got out of the COVID phase. There's a lot more buyers in the market, a lot less listings coming up, and even the ones that do come up, they're sold right away, so the listing pool remains very low. We're expecting a very busy spring and summer market is what I think. It's going to be very similar, even busier than last year, where houses are selling as soon as they're listing. And we've been seeing a lot of presentation of offers as well, especially in the spring and summer markets. And what presentation of offers is, it's a delayed offers form that's signed by the seller. So at a specific time and date, all the offers are presented, and then the seller will choose the best offer based on price, terms, or condition. What that generally ends up happening is it drives price up. So if a house is maybe worth 350 in a general market, a balanced market, it might be selling for another 20 or 30K above market price, right? That sometimes happens. It's really a seller's market, and I don't see it to changing for at least another year or so.
So, what would be your assumption, or based on the projection, maybe next year, maybe in summer, will the number of houses on sale increase? What's the projection telling you?
Well, generally, historically speaking, there's definitely more houses that come on the market in the spring and summer. And the reason for that is it's a perception that people think they're going to get top dollar for their house in the spring and market as more people are looking in those markets, right, in that time of the year. And another rule is basically generally people don't want to move in the winter, and in the spring and summer, kids are out of school and stuff like that, and people have time to move and look for houses. I do believe that we're going to get more houses for sale in the spring and summer, but they're not going to be around for very long. They're going to sell as soon as they come in the market, especially if it's a property that's shows well as in a good area and is priced accordingly. It should go within the next day or two. Now, I like to take a quick moment, and I want to go back at 2025. So in 2025, we had 5,119 total sales in Saskatchewan, which includes single family, condos, and townhouses. We sold 784 townhouses in 2025. We sold 1,061 apartment style condos, and we sold 3,274 single family homes. The average price for a single family home in 2025 was $499,750. In 2024, those numbers were 3,246 of total amounts of single family, which is detached homes sold, and the average price was $459,762. So price has definitely gone up about 40,000 within just a year on average. Even on the apartment style, like the condo styles, we sold 1,061 in 2025. In 2024, we sold 959. The average price for a condo is 252, 242 in 2025, and in 2024 it was $240,631. Now these are average prices, right? So you could find one for a little bit lower, a little bit higher, but the average is definitely going up year over year.
So you were thinking that the average of 2026 will be even higher.
I think it's going to be even higher.
So what do you suggest the buyers? Like right now it's winter. Should you suggest people to go house hunting for the winter or just wait for spring and summer? What would be,
So
as a
what I
realtor,
always,
what would be your suggestion?
as a professional opinion, what I recommend is if you have your down payment ready to go, you're qualified as a buyer, there's no point in waiting. You should be actively looking. If you're ready to buy a house, you should be actively looking in the market for a house that suits your needs for your family. If that brings you into the spring or summer market because you can't find something that you want, that's just the way it is, right? But if you think you're going to wait till next winter and see if the prices are going to go down, that doesn't look like that. From my projection and what the stats are saying, and historically how things have been in the last 10 years, prices are going up. So a house that's worth, let's say, 350 in today's market right now, that house might be another 20,000 next winter. And if that sells in the summer, it's at the peak, it might even be another 30 or 40,000, depending on how the market, how many buyers, right? So like market value is basically what a buyer is willing to pay for a house, right? So if something is worth, I keep going back to 350, I think it's a bit of a sweet spot, but if something is worth 350, and then there's 5 different buyers lined up and all 5 of them really want it, they're going to pay an extra 15, 20, 30,000 just to acquire that house, just to secure that deal, because they know they're going to be in there for 15 to 20 years. So even if they're paying an extra 30K, 40K, they're going to balance that self out over the next 15 or 20 years of ownership, right? So I don't think there's a wrong time to buy a house. It all depends on your financial situation, if you're mentally ready to buy, you should buy as soon as you're ready. Start looking in the market, start looking for what you work with a reputable realtor, somebody who understands your needs. Start looking for what you want. Write down that, we need 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, if you need a suite or not, finished, unfinished basement. If you want a detached house, what kind of yard you want, what kind of area you want to be in. Jot those things down, understand your needs, and explain that to your realtor so he understands as well, and start looking right away.
I have another question. It's an interesting question. Somebody asked, when is the right time to buy a house?
The right time is when you find the house that you want. If the house has everything that you need and it suits your family's needs, and you're pre-approved and all of your financing is all together, that's the right time. We in Saskatchewan, economically, we're doing fairly well. We have a couple of new mines going up. We have a crush plant going up in Regina for canola. We have the Jensen mine project up by Humboldt area. There's lots of jobs around. Lots of people are moving in from different provinces for jobs, school. Lots of people are even buying houses in Saskatoon. So just the other day, I had somebody call me. They have 2 houses in Vancouver, and they're coming to the age where they're thinking of retiring. And what they're thinking is selling one of the houses, which is they told me is worth about over $1 million, and it's all paid off. They're thinking of selling that house and buying a couple rental properties in Saskatoon because they can get more bang for their buck in Saskatoon, and then renting those things out as a revenue property and have a fixed income stream every single month rather than having it sitting in Vancouver and then just moving their money into Saskatchewan. So we're seeing lots of investors like that as well. We're seeing a lot of reno and flips. So a lot of guys are going out there, they're buying old properties, they're doing renovations on them, and then they're flipping them around for profit. And that's actually doing really, really well as well. So that all those little things tie into a busy market. So there's people looking for themselves, there's people looking for investment, there's people looking for rental properties to add to the rental portfolio. You have all those buyers trying to buy houses in one small market like Saskatoon compared to other bigger metropolitan cities in Canada. We're a fairly small city, but we have a very busy market, and we have all these buyers trying to buy at the same time, which creates that kind of competition in the market and drives those prices up and keeps demand very high.
Um, Yesterday, I got some questions. So even though it would be some random questions, you can skip 1 or 2 questions if you want, but I'm gonna ask you one
I'll
by
do my
one.
best to answer all.
So one question came in regarding halal mortgage. I want to buy a house with halal mortgage. So do you have any options on that? And how should I contact you for getting the halal mortgage and buying my house through you?
So basically, I can share my information with you guys, my email and my business card, so we'll have all the ways to contact me. Regarding halal mortgage, I work with a few different halal mortgage companies. One of them is Ijara, and basically what they do is they qualify you based on your income, your debt ratio, and they give you halal loans, right? That's one option. And with Ijara, there's no wait time. So as soon as you're ready to buy, you're qualified, you can get a loan through them on a fixed profit rate right away. Another option is Elisan, which is based out of Regina, I believe. I might be wrong on that. Correct me if I am. But with them, I think you have to invest money and then you have to wait in line until it's your turn to buy. But there's quite a few options out there for halal mortgage for anybody seeking halal mortgage, and I can definitely help you navigate those as well.
Okay. Another question came in. Are there any chances that there will be right now? He's actually searching for some houses, but he's finding that number of houses are not as per his expectations. So, is government trying to increase the number of house built? What are your visualization? Number of houses
So
they're trying to build more, or
what we have been seeing is the federal government has announced that they're looking to abolish GST on new home builds, right? So that lowers the price. Usually when you buy a new home build, the GST PSD is payable, not on a used home, but when a brand new build, GST and PSD is payable, but the builders have that built into the price. So we have been seeing it where some builders are reducing the house prices if you're a first-time home buyer and you qualify as one. Another thing the government is doing is they have a secondary suite incentive where you can build a legal basement suite in your home if the home qualifies. Usually people do that in a brand new build, and then you can get up to 35% back from the government. That program, unfortunately, is ending very soon here. It's ending March 31st, 2026, but you can still apply for it beforehand, even if construction isn't complete. Depending on when you put your offer in, you might be able to qualify for that. All that information is on the Saskatchewan website, and anybody interested can take a look or contact me for further information. Another thing that the government is doing is when you file your taxes as a first-time home buyer, you get a bit of a rebate on GST as well. They are making it a little bit easier for on a municipal side, getting permits, starting new home builds. So we have seen quite a bit of construction in the Brighton, Rosewood, Aspen Ridge area. We're seeing a lot of pre-sales as well, where the house is not even in the ground. It's just basically a blueprint. And then you go with the builder, you negotiate kind of how you want things to be done. And then they start building a house for you. So we're also seeing some of that as well, where there's not enough new homes on the market in some instances where they can't keep up with demand. And we're just selling pre-construction houses as well.
Next question is interesting question. It says, I'm not a realtor. I have bought houses. So how many houses as an individual can I buy legally in Saskatchewan? Is there any restriction on
You
the?
can buy as many as you want. There's no restriction. You can buy as many houses as you want. The only recommendation I'd say contact your accountant, but usually when you own more than one house and you're trying to have a revenue stream, I'd say form a corporation, put them in there. But that's more of a tax question, but there's no restrictions on how many houses you buy. The only thing is, if it's not your primary residence, you have to do 20% down, usually with a mortgage broker.
So there is no other restrictions other than the taxes and.
You can, as long as you're a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, you're able to buy as many houses as you like, as long as, you know, if it's your finances and you have the money ready, you can buy as many as you want. There's no restriction on a number or a limit of how many you can buy.
Okay. I'm gonna I'm gonna tell you one more question and then we are near the end. So this question is one person, he has been looking for houses in different areas. So what he has observed is in several areas in Saskatoon, actually the prices are quite high. So how about if he wants to buy some houses a little bit further, say 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers on the one side of Saskatoon, so that it's not entirely in the city, will there be a little bit better deal for him for the houses, and what are the accommodations and other stuffs like
So
surrounding areas, markets, and all the stuff?
yeah, so generally the prices on the east side of Saskatoon or the north side are higher. And the reason for that is the area, right? The newer the area, the prices are higher. The newer the houses, the prices are higher, right? So um, the houses in that area kind of dictate the market value of a home. So even if a home next to a really nice house or a real nice house worth more than it was if it was in a different area. But my suggestion is look at your budget. For example, if your budget is $350,000, you can buy a fairly decent house in the west side of Saskatoon. Mount Royal is another really good area, Castle Hill, Mayfair. But you know, the 350 might not go very long if you're looking for a house in Stonebridge as an example, because a 350 can get you a townhouse style condominium there, but 350 can maybe get you a detached home in Mount Royal, Saskatoon. Now, one thing people look at is always how close schools are, right? They want to be able to make sure that the kids can, you know, either walk to school or if they need to be driven in the winter, It's not too much of a a hassle to get there. Um, Areas generally with a school, some sort of shopping strip mall or grocery stores tend to have um, higher prices or higher home price retention as compared to areas where there's not much around. A good example is Brighton. Brighton has a grocery store, they have a movie theater, they have a Stoke Center for entertainment purposes. And they kind of have everything there. So if you need to grab something immediately, you don't really have to leave the area. You can kind of stay within your neighborhood and get what you need and kind of go from there. Montgomery, as an example, is Montgomery Place is an area that's kind of a little south of Saskatchewan, or even if you go a bit little bit outer, let's say Casa Rio, where it's more acreages, those people have to drive maybe 15 minutes to, go to a grocery store or go to where they want. So it all depends what the amenities are close to the area. All those things factor in the market value of the house.
Thank you, brother Numaan Shafqat. You answered all the questions very clearly. Is there any final remarks? We will discuss maybe 1 or 2 minutes more. So, is there any final remarks? Like if somebody wants to sell the house to you, somebody wants to buy the house, is there any final remarks from you?
From my end, honestly, like I treat my customers, my clients with respect. I understand their needs. That's the first thing. I understand their needs, exactly what they want, and then I try to show them what they want within their budget. Now, sometimes what happens is people say, "Oh, I want to buy something on the east side because I feel safer there," or whatever the reason is, or I've always lived on the east side, but I only have X amount of budget, but I want this kind of house. Now, if I can't find them something on that side of the city because it doesn't exist, the prices are higher, I try to find something on a different side of the city, let's say the west side or close to like Mount Royal or Hampton Village, to try to find exactly what they need within their budget in an area that they feel comfortable living in. Now, everybody's needs are different, right? And I try to work with your needs. I'm always available, just a phone call or text away. Um, if you need help with mortgage brokers, whether it's a conventional loan or if it's working with a hall mortgage broker, I have those contacts. I will basically hold your hand and guide you through those step by step. Um, Especially with first-time homebuyers, they don't know much. If they're new to Canada, they don't know much about the housing market, how to get mortgage, what to look for in a house. Now, Alhamdulillah, I have done enough home inspections with my clients that I kind of know what the inspectors are looking for. So when we do our first walkthrough in any house that we see, I kind of pick out the 15 or 20 things that I can see visually that I would not wait for the home inspection to show up with those things which I should have known beforehand. So, for example, if a furnace is 15 or 20 years old, right, and it's close to the end of its life, I would kind of see if I can pick that out when I walk into with my customer, rather than waiting for a $500 inspection to find out something I could have told them beforehand. So I believe I have the knowledge and experience to kind of guide you through any real estate transaction in Saskatchewan, whether it be commercial or residential.
So thank you, Brother Numaan Shafqat. It was amazing discussing with you. I'll share your contact information and all the details, and hopefully we'll meet someday again later on. But for
Inshallah.
now, thank you so much for your time. From your busy schedule, you have made some time for us and shared with us some really interesting facts about the real estate market in Saskatchewan and for the buyers and sellers what they need to do. So thank you so much. Hopefully we're gonna discuss again. And those who are watching, thank you so much. We'll come with some other sessions, inshallah, nearby soon. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, brother.
So, thank you, brother. Thanks for having me. Take care.
Take care.